Attention passionate Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right, folks. Today we're diving deep into some explosive NFL news that's been buzzing around the league. And let me tell you, it's got huge implications for the Seattle Seahawks. If you've been paying attention to the NFC West lately, you already know that the division is heating up, with teams making bold moves and strategic plays to reshape their future. But what's really catching fire now is a potential blockbuster trade that could redefine the Seahawks secondary, and quite possibly, their entire season. And yes, we're talking about the Saints, a team that's been struggling this year with a 2-6 record, and a secondary that's been leaking points and yards more than they'd like to admit. Now, the latest reports from Diana Rossini paint a picture that's hard to ignore. The New Orleans Saints, who are clearly in a rebuild mode after a disappointing start, are seriously considering trading one of their key defensive players, cornerback Alontae Taylor. And get this, the Saints are looking to get a second-round pick in 2026 in exchange. That's right, a future asset that could really help them rebuild this roster. But why would they do that? Well, besides the fact that they're 2-6 and probably have their eyes set on the future, the team is also trying to free up about $9 million in cap space. That's a significant chunk of change, and it's a clear sign that they're looking to reset, to retool, and to build around some core pieces for the next generation. And that's where the Seahawks come into the picture. Seattle, with about $19 million in cap space this season, has been monitoring the secondary market closely. Their biggest concern right now, that external cornerback position opposite Rick Woolen. Woolen, who's proven to be a shutdown corner and a cornerstone for this defense, has been dominant when healthy. But recently, there have been concerns about the health of Devin Witherspoon, who's been limited due to a knee injury. That's left the Seahawks looking for a proven, high-caliber cornerback, someone who can lock down top receivers and elevate the entire secondary. And that's exactly what Alontae Taylor could bring to Seattle. Taylor, a physically gifted cornerback with impressive traits, has been emerging as one of the league's more promising talents. His PFF grade for this year is around 64.3, which might not jump off the page at first glance. But when you look closer, his coverage numbers are pretty solid, 68. 8 in coverage, ranking 29th among all corners, and his 24 solo tackles place him around the 90th percentile in production. But what really makes him stand out is his ability to disrupt passes. He's allowed only 55% completion on targets, and his EPA per target is a healthy 41, which indicates he's effective at limiting the damage downfield. Oh, and let's not forget his physicality. Taylor is known for his mirror skills, drawing comparisons to Carlton Davis, and he's got a jam success rate of about 65%, along with 7 pass defenses this season. Statistically, he's better than some other notable corners, including Bryant, who has a PFF grade of 62.5. And despite the injury setbacks, Taylor has a groin injury that's kept him out for a while. His future looks bright, especially if he lands in a system that leverages his strengths. Now, what does this mean for the Seahawks? Well, it's huge, because with Taylor in the fold, Seattle's defense could see a serious boost. Imagine him lining up on the outside, locking down the opposing team's top receiver, similar to what Tre'Davious White did with the Rams in 2025. White, as many of you remember, was instrumental in elevating that defense and making the secondary a real strength. Taylor, with his ability to reduce passing yards from 215 to about 175 yards per game and increase interceptions by around 17%, could be a game changer. His presence would force quarterbacks to think twice before throwing his way, leading to more punts and, more importantly, more turnovers. We're talking about elevating the Seahawks' defensive game from good to elite, and that's exactly what this team needs to contend seriously for a Super Bowl run. If you've been following the Seahawks this season, you've noticed some ups and downs. The team has shown flashes of brilliance, especially in their pass rush and playmaking ability, but also some inconsistencies in their secondary, particularly when it comes to outside coverage. Adding a player like Taylor would not only address that weakness, but also send a message to the league that Seattle is serious about competing at the highest level. It's a strategic move that could push the Seahawks from a good team into a legitimate threat in the NFC, especially when considering how much a shutdown corner can influence playoff games. And let's talk about the bigger picture, because this kind of move could have ripple effects beyond just the Seahawks and the Saints. The NFC is open, but the division is becoming more competitive. The 49ers have been dominant, but the Eagles, Cowboys, and now the Seahawks are all looking to make their moves. A player like Taylor, who can be an X-factor against top-tier receivers like Kupp or others in the division, could elevate Seattle's odds significantly. Bookmakers are already adjusting their Super Bowl odds, with the Seahawks moving from +1, 200 to around +600 in some markets. That's a huge jump, and it reflects the belief that adding a player of Taylor's caliber could be the missing piece to a championship puzzle. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL. Trades are complex, involve a lot of moving parts, and depend on many factors, including the player's willingness to move, the team's cap situation, and the overall strategic plans. But the signs are pointing toward a real possibility that Taylor could soon be donning Seahawks colors. If that happens, it would be a bold statement from Seattle, showing they're not just content with being a playoff team, but they want to be champions. This move could elevate the entire defense, making it more disruptive, more versatile, and more capable of shutting down the league's best offenses. In conclusion, folks, this potential trade is more than just a transaction. It's a symbol of a team that's willing to make bold moves to reach the mountaintop. It's about building a defense that can carry the team deep into the playoffs and possibly bring another Super Bowl trophy to Seattle. And for us fans, it's an exciting time to be a Seahawks supporter, knowing that big things could be on the horizon. Defensive upgrades like this don't happen every day, and if the Seahawks pull it off, it could be the start of a new era, one where they're not just contenders but outright favorites in the NFC. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So as we wait for official confirmation, it's clear that this situation is one to watch very closely. The Seahawks are always looking for ways to improve, and this move, if it materializes, could be a major step forward in their quest to return to the Super Bowl. Remember, the team has a rich history of making smart moves and developing players into stars, and bringing in someone like Taylor could just be the next chapter in that story. The NFC West is no longer just a division. It's a battleground where strategic moves define legacies. And right now, Seattle is positioning itself to be a major player, not just for this season, but for years to come. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe Taylor can be that difference maker? How do you see him fitting into the Seahawks' defensive scheme? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. We love to hear your predictions, your hopes, and your concerns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and whatever happens, you can count on us to bring you the most comprehensive coverage. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, go Seahawks.